People are continuing to vandalize Tesla dealerships, and as a result, the stock for Tesla is dropping hard. And you know who loves that? CNN. They cannot hide their satisfaction to watch Elon go down.
Tesla profits plunging tonight. Elon Musk just reporting a 71% plunge in profits. 71%.
And watch the satisfaction she has when she calculates just how much he's losing.
Elon owns 12.8% of Tesla. All right, 12.8%. Tesla's down how much this year? We were just looking at it. 41%. So how much money has he lost? We were just calculating this. Let's look it up. Okay, so $73 billion.
Watch your face.
$73 billion.
Watch your face.
Lost by Elon and his descendants.
Aaron Burnett. You're just jealous you don't have that much money. But it wasn't just her. It was also peach-flavored Timothy over here and wannabe Einstein that we're going to see how they obviously and blatantly showcase their satisfaction for such a demise. Temporary demise. It's SeanDaniel here. Now, before we watch the CNN segment, let's see these recent vandalizers that I'm talking about that went to New York City, started painting all over a Tesla dealership, and thankfully they got arrested. Not just for the horrible pink hairdo that they have right here. Come on, bro, what is this? But also for the vandalization that they were doing. I mean, what is Grandpa Joe over here doing out at a Tesla dealership? Let's watch. Okay, no unelected. They're probably going to say fascists right here. Let's see. No unelected. Man, people need to get jobs. And you know what? Are they getting jobs? Do they need to get jobs? Or are they getting paid to go do this? F Doge on a Tesla building, and people are just standing there filming. Thankfully, the cops were called. Let's watch. Hands behind your back. He's definitely making money off doing this.
Call me Wolf. Any questions you have, I'm right here to answer for you.
And watch his smug response at why he's getting arrested.
Why are you being arrested? Why?
Because people do not consent to unelected fascists. And this is Earth Day. Earth Day started with direct action. This is what it's about. Taking action because we don't consent, and we have power when we don't consent.
Move out of
Yeah, here goes the other grandpa who decided to come out here and protest. He's getting arrested too. Now let's watch how CNN responds to not only the market crash, but indirectly, they're really praising the way they praise the stock market crash, the stock crash of Doge. They're really praising the people behind the impact of this, the people behind causing this crash, all the people that are keying Teslas, all the people that are vandalizing. They're really indirectly praising them. Let's see what I'm talking about.
Tesla profits plunging tonight. Elon Musk just reporting a 71% plunge in profits. 71% as he rails against Trump's tariffs in a call going on right now. You will hear him in his own words in a call that Outfront has just obtained. Also breaking new details on Pete Hegseth's and Trump's baby vote, which is reminiscent or blow tonight with profits plunging. Let's go out front. Good evening, I'm Aaron Burnett, and out front tonight, the breaking news, Elon Musk's empire suffering a major blow tonight with profits plunging more than 70%. And Musk, just moments ago, in a call that we've obtained, admits this reason as to why.
There's been some blowback for the time that I've been spending in government with the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. There are some challenges. And I expect that this year will be, there'll probably be some unexpected bumps this year.
This is this earnings call that's going on right now from Tesla. There will be more bumps, he says, because even though Musk tonight said he is keeping his word and stopping his full-time work for Trump and Doge next month, which he is required to do with his role as a special government employee, right? So that's what he's already said he was going to do. The truth is, the headline may not be that he's stepping aside as he was saying he was due. It's actually that he is not going anywhere.
I'll continue to spend, a day or two per week on government matters for as long as the president would like me to do so.
A day or two a week. I mean, 2 days a week out of 5. I mean, you get it, right? That's 40%. That's a lot of time. I mean, that would mean for roughly the next 3.5 years, if Trump wants him around, Elon Musk is going to be in the Oval Office with Trump a couple days a week. Now, that's obviously significant. And
see how much of a problem she has already with him, a business guy who makes more businessy decisions than many other bureaucrats in government. She has such a big issue with him being in the government and making business decisions and slashing all the expenses that we have. But keep watching so you can see just how much satisfaction they can't even hide on their faces as they report the plunge in the Tesla stock.
Elon is speaking on this Tesla call, spoke for a majority of the call, in fact, which began about 90 minutes ago. And just to be very clear, Elon Musk being on the call and talking for as long as he has, right? So we're now talking 90 minutes or so this has been going on, is not a business as usual thing. He does not usually get on this call and talk. In fact, in 2021, he said this.
I think going forward, I will most likely not be on earnings calls unless there's something really important that I need to say.
Well, there is something really important that he needs to say right now.
You know how many people they must have researching and planning these segments to be able to grab one quote from a sales call back in 2021 to utilize that quote against Elon Musk right now based on what he's doing. Man, if you are going to do something in the public sector, especially in politics, you have to go up against such a well-armored machine from just one news network, let alone all the liberal news networks that want to attack you. Because they were able to pull that one quote from 2021 on a Tesla private sales call. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, no wonder people cave to the pressures and deals and negotiations that are made in DC because they find dirt on anybody.
Well, there is something really important that he needs to say right now. Musk's image as the world's wealthiest man has taken an unprecedented hit in an unprecedentedly short period of time. From his controversial behavior at Trump events like Inauguration Day to revelations that he has a lot more children than his known 13 that did not come from some sort of a tabloid. It came from the Wall Street Journal. And beyond his reputation and image, Musk has lost more than $130 billion since Election Day because of the damage he has done to Tesla's brand by tying himself so directly to Trump and by Doge. And many investors on that Tesla earning call have lost a lot of money because of Musk this year. Tesla shares have been cut almost in half, in fact, since Election Day, when you look at the highs then, which may be why Musk did something really important on this call. When he talks about something important to say, perhaps nothing more important than this, keeping up his fight against Trump's tariffs.
Tariffs will, tough on a company when margins are still low. I just want to emphasize that the tariff decision is entirely up to the President of the United States. I will weigh in with my advice with the President, which he will listen to my advice, but then it's up to him, of course, to make his decision. I've been on the record many times as saying that I believe lower tariffs are generally a good idea for prosperity. But this decision is fundamentally up to the elected representative of the people, being the President of the United States. So, I'll continue to advocate for lower tariffs rather than higher tariffs, but that's all I can do.
I mean, that's clear and it's measured. It's a lot more calm than calling Peter Navarro dumber than a bag of bricks, which is what he called him on his social media platform recently on the tariff issue.
Now let's see the goofballs that they bring on. Who is in charge of casting at CNN? Is it like, can we just bring on the wildest looking, weirdest liberal people on the planet? Because if so, I mean, they're doing a hell of a job of achieving that goal.
And I want to go now to Dan Ives, Peter Tuchman, and Alexis Glick, all back with me. So, Dan, you were able to hear that call. Elon doesn't usually get on that call. That's the whole point. And he's on, and he's being very, very calm in what he's saying. But obviously, profits plunging 71%. And there's a reason for that, right? And that reason is him and Trump and Doge.
I mean, this was a moment of truth for Musk. Because on this call, and I think he did a great setup, I mean, this was really, investors are massively frustrated. In our opinion, it was a fork in the road. He basically had to recommit to Tesla and sort of take a huge step back from Doge. And that was something that he did. And I ultimately believe this is really the beginning of the end of how he's going to be with the Trump administration, because the brand damage, we think it's 20% in terms of
20%
permanent brand damage potentially from this. And the reality is, when you look at Tesla, and Tucker and I have talked about it, it's not just the brand damage, the tariffs as well. It's sort of been a 1-2 punch, and that's why Musk had to be a much different Elon Musk on that conference call than
he's been, the bag of bricks and all of that.
Than a typical Musk.
And so it's interesting you say that, and yet, Alexis, he is also saying, but I'm not done my work. And as long as he wants me there 1 to 2 days a week, which is a lot of time, I'll be there.
And he was very clear in indicating that. But the interesting thing, the point on the 1-2 punch here, right, is that he was very honest about protests, about implications on the brand. And to your point, he was also very contrite. I mean, he really was being very honest and forthright with investors, and honest and forthright about his intent to stay 1 to 2 days a week in this Doge role as long as the president needs him. The thing here right now, as you guys know, is what's so incredibly important is for leaders of business and industry to be sharing back with the president in either earnings calls or in one-on-one meetings like you saw yesterday with the major retailer CEOs, for him to fully understand what are the implications day to day on the tariffs, on not knowing where your supply chain is, pricing, SKUs, margins, account receivables, payables, hiring, firing, hearing that day in and day out in a swan song from all different industries is starting to take effect.
I mean, Peter, look,
I mean, she made actually a good point. If he's so diverse with his attention, his focus, how he spends his time, how are you supposed to keep everything so clear mentally when you're jumping through different industries? How are you supposed to keep it clear as being the leader of different companies when you got to dive into so much detail with government? Then you got to dive into so much detail with Tesla. You guys know in your own life, when you have to take on a new endeavor, just how hard it is to keep things straight mentally versus if you could just jump into one thing. So she actually makes a good point. Now let's get to the idiots.
All right, well, whip the whiteboard out for you. Here's Elon, okay? Here's Elon. Here's X on his shoulder, okay? Elon owns 12.8% of Tesla. All right, 12.8%. Tesla's down how much this year? We were just looking at
She's so excited.
41%. So how much money has he lost? We were just calculating this. Let's look it up. Okay, so $73 billion. $73 billion lost by Elon and his descendants.
I think it's important to note one thing. You just talked about that everybody needs to come together and start sharing. Look, this has been a problem of messaging. From the beginning, right? Or whether it's the president, the reason that the market took the hit it did was all about the way that they disseminated the information from the beginning. If they had come into the market, markets can handle virtually anything if they're given it, if it's being fed to them in a way that they can
manage and project.
They can manage it, except this was almost a perfect storm. I don't think anything changed from yesterday, except maybe there's some happy dust that was dropped over the White House, because suddenly everybody changed their tune. Besant came out and said that, you know what, that this aggressive negative narrative around tariffs is unsustainable. And if we don't, almost accepting responsibility, right, that we've messaged wrong, and we're going to have to change that to change everything. And then Elon Musk, he doesn't care that he lost $73 billion because that's been happening for a while.
Right.
It's almost as if everybody, whether it's, it's almost like a bipolar person who took their medication. Everybody came out with a completely different message today. The president did it, Elon Musk did it, and Besant did it. And the market read all of that, and it responded favorably. It's a huge difference
but
from one day to the
whipsaw,
next.
the whipsaw is insane.
But I would add to Tuchman, I think he did a great job, because the walls are caving in. Because at the end of the day, the 10-year, the dollar, gold, markets, how many deals on the table? 0. So you could talk.
Trade deals you're talking about.
Trade deals.
Yep.
So you could talk, and that's why you're seeing, as you talked about, trying to get data out, because at the end of the day, the market is basically
So
saying.
they're suddenly listening. They're listening to all the. To your point, they're suddenly listening to everything that's been said, and they are pivoting.
Yeah.
This is a major pivot.
is a
It's a
pivot.
1,000-point
I agree
market
with you.
pivot, and it's a 1,000-point messaging pivot from all three of these people.
And just because the president and Elon Musk and all these people change their messaging after a few days, it doesn't mean they're flip-floppy. It also means, remember we talked about, they don't want to necessarily say in the public exactly what they're going to do with negotiations, because then you have no leverage when you go to negotiate. If the other people know exactly what you're going to say, what you're going to do, what your position is, you have no leverage. So we can't necessarily take exactly what they say publicly as doctrine of their true stance in negotiations, like these guys are saying. They might look crazy, but they actually had some decent points in there. But we do know, just by reading the perceiving their responses and how they come across, that they would love for Elon to step away from Doge. They would love the government cuts to stop. They would love him to go back to Tesla. And one way to make him go back to Tesla is to have the Tesla stock drop. And one way to have that happen is have all these organized protests, vandalisms, encourage people to, in the streets, just key up Teslas. And when you see their satisfaction, especially this lady, Erin Burnett, when she did the calculations on the numbers, you can see how adversarial they are against Trump and everybody else. And we're just going to see. I bet Tesla stock is going to jump back up. I don't know how he's going to recover his image, because so many green energy people, especially in California, a lot of the more liberal people, they're the ones buying the Teslas. I don't want to do gas. I just want electric. And he's kind of alienated himself from those people who originally bought the Teslas because they love green energy stuff. I don't know how that's going to work out, but hope you got to see just how obvious it is that they love to see the downfall of Tesla, of his company, of the people who work at his companies, their livelihoods, all that stuff. All that's behind it. It's SeanDaniel here. I will see you guys in the next one. Subscribe if you want to see more, or hit the like button if you enjoyed. See you in the next one.